one from Syria, and we just
Yeah.
wanted to talk about that title and as well as a lot of interesting things was going on. But coming back to we talked about other leagues, so mandatory we go to Spain and talk about a little bit. Uh, what is your takeaway? I mean, obviously, it seems like the most boring league in terms of Real Madrid winning it
Yeah.
very clearly. But other than that, I mean, Barcelona have been very good. Sevilla has been most inconsistent, I should say. You know, they win that Sevilla derby, which is a great win for them, always prestigious. But then they dropped points. I think yesterday they dropped points again.
I actually did not follow. I for
I think they've dropped points.
Yeah, they dropped point with Alaves.
Yeah. So again, missed opportunity, and then obviously Real winning today 4-1
Yeah.
against Sociedad. Technically, it has 8 points, 8 or 9 points gap.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
it's like there are only 11 matches left, so you don't expect Real Madrid to drop 11 points.
no, and
11 matches.
also the most consistent team I can see right now from now on is actually will be maybe Barcelona. I can see Sevilla losing plot here and there. Betis has some interesting games. I think still is in the reach of even Barcelona, not just Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. That if they push,
They have a interesting match coming today against Atletico Madrid, Real
that
Betis.
this is going to be very very important for Madrid, Atletico
Yeah,
Madrid
it
and
could
Betis.
be decisive.
And while we don't forget that Betis is also in the Europa League, and
Yeah,
Atletico Madrid is still in the Champions League. They're playing against Manchester United, but that's not this week, coming week.
yeah.
That's after a week. But coming back to Barcelona, are you impressed so far? What are you seeing?
Well, they proved me wrong. In Naples, they performed, I don't know, like beyond my imagination. Um, Especially the midfield quartet. This Pedri, Frankie De Jong, especially Frankie De Jong impressed me from the when he was playing from the left and how he was running, and even like in the last game when he came as a substitute, he was brilliant. He was actually charging the defense in the counter attack, and he was pretty fast. Actually, I don't know, like what did he eat recently? Any sort of change of diets or something like this. But I
Um,
have never seen him like running that fast, at least for a
yeah,
while.
something has changed with definitely with Frankie de Jong, and it could be just few detailed thing in training or few things that are clicking and the confidence just came back of a player. And I'm going to mention he came from bench, I think the last game for Barcelona
Yeah,
against Bilbao, and that obviously that was fantastic goal from Dembele, but the switch from De Jong, I mean, it was like lack of second. I mean, the first touch, he knew almost where Dembele is going to go, and he switched it right away. I mean, not even a second. So the awareness, what's going on around him, and also the spaces, where to attack.
actually, if you remember, like Barcelona bought him because of this sort of qualities, especially with Dust team and Ajax team. And if you remember the Real Madrid match against Ajax,
Hmm.
this 4-1 game
Hmm.
in Bernabeu.
Yeah.
Uh, Modric couldn't actually touch him at all. Even though he was like diving in front of him, he was untouchable
No,
at that time.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, good to see Frankie De Jong coming almost to his best or the version.
Also, yeah, also Serginho Dest is doing pretty good.
Yeah,
so
even
far.
in the left back. I mean, the guy cannot. The guy is a right back. In the left back, he says he looks like as good as no, at least Javier Zanetti, who used to play for both flank. But yeah, the test has been brilliant.
Well,
Um,
he as a winger under Koeman.
yeah,
We'll go that actually. I wanted to bring this
yeah,
topic.
I wanted to, but yeah, going back to Barcelona, test Frankie De Jong has been great. Pedri. The
Yeah.
less we speak about him, the better because we might get out of the words because it's been some other level. Like we're talking about someone as there's comparison obviously with Andres Iniesta and how he works. It looks like as a mix of Iniesta and a bit of Xavi himself to work on that spaces and a bit of Riquelme as well. I mean,
Well, he's more like Riquelme than Andres Iniesta. Andres Iniesta is like a brilliant dribbler. Like he could pass two guys like in one touch. But I think uh, why Xavi made this comparison because of this nutmeg probably.
and that was
I don't
Riquelme
know.
style. It's more of
Yeah.
a if you see a lot of Boca Juniors footages,
w-
Riquelme, it's
Yeah.
basically signature
Riquel-
of him.
yeah.
Um, but coming back to that, the level of performance Pedri right now, or even we are even forgetting Gavi. He's
Yeah, we are actually.
and
And I
the
don't know
team is
like
clicking and
what to say. I actually
Aubameyang has been great. Can't stop scoring goals. Look De Jong, look at him.
is
Um,
he's the second highest scorer.
and Memphis
Um,
Depay came in and scored as well. So
yeah,
everything is going well. I mean, there is no negatives, no negatives at all.
yeah, no negatives at all,
Yeah, you don't.
except for Gerard Piqué pulling up someone's jersey. I don't see any sort of ugly things
Well,
in the
even
match.
Gerard Piqué scored that goal against Napoli.
Yeah,
So and he was coming
it
in.
was. Oh yeah, Napoli.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Jordi Alba scored a brilliant goal, like
yeah,
one
Adama
from the
Traore
counter
has been
attack, and
great.
yeah.
Dembele, people whistle him, and that's the other part I
I
want to
was
talk.
going to bring that topic actually. Like, what do you think of it? Like, they probably gave him by now a new offer or something like this
Okay,
because Xavi is always a
before even we go there, how do you see Barcelona fans whistling Dembele? I mean, especially the game
yeah
against
when
I
he
think
came in.
Napoli was it? Was it? No, 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 not Napoli. The
Yeah,
game,
both matches
the
actually.
Valencia game,
Valencia game, yeah.
and the
Valencia game
Bilbao.
in Napoli game.
No, no,
I
no.
didn't see.
He
No,
was
not
not
really.
starting. But I think the Bilbao game when he started, obviously there was
Yeah,
whistles. But how much if Xavi is going to use him, what's the point of whistling
yeah, that's the
Dembele?
thing. But what do you take of his performance? Like,
Oh, it's brilliant.
could Barcelona
I,
could
I, I,
Barcelona
I,
offer him?
I hope Barcelona keeps him because when asked Xavi with his brilliant English basically said, yeah, I like him as a player. If he's here, I'm going to use him. That's a clear message, and the rest is beyond me. It's between the board and the player agents. But he knows my assessment towards him. He's one of the top players, and I'm going to use him. So that
Well, he was saying it since the beginning, like since he started this job.
yeah.
But I don't know, like
But
because of
I really
his
hope that he reconsiders.
injuries.
He
Yeah,
reconsiders his options. I mean, he's definitely very good player. He can shine in any team, such as Liverpool or
yeah.
certain other teams that would suit him. But he's been fun in the last three games. Definitely, he's been really, really fun to watch.
Also, yeah, Barcelona can buy Adama Traore for like 30 million. There's
And
a
now that,
buyout
that
option.
that's where I'm going to go. But before there,
Yeah,
just go to what the previous manager and the Barcelona legend Koeman has said.
I
Uh,
almost agree with all of it actually. Except there, he said that he did not get enough time or
well, I
something like this.
guess I guess he was meaning that he didn't get enough time with Fati and Pedri and Dembele.
Okay,
I think
but it's not.
it was not really clear, but he was talking about now everyone see with Pedri and Dembele coming back, the team looks different. But I didn't get enough time with them. I think that's what he said. I could be misquoting as well, but my understanding was that. But again, I mean, but yeah,
But
he
even with Lionel Messi, he did not play any sort of inspiring foot. Like there weren't any sort of inspiring like playing style with
with
Barcelona
Koeman,
last season.
uh,
Yeah, with Koeman.
yeah, they've slipped the game, slipped the league basically in the crucial stages. And again, I hear Koeman, but he was nowhere near. He was more a divisive figure. Um,
Yeah,
you can see there's certain things have improved in Xavi that is beyond Pedri, that is beyond Dembele, that is beyond say even Fatih. Fatih is still injured. Um, the pressing, the pattern of passing. The players already know even before touching the ball where they're going to attack, where the space is opening up. It's almost like telepathic. Uh,
especially with this two central midfielder who's a little bit ahead of Busquets because he was a like puppet master Busquets for this team and
and if you remember,
uh, if you see this like where they are receiving the balls, it's almost always in between the lines
exactly,
and they have spaces.
exactly, and with Koeman that was missing. There was almost no pressing. There is lack of ideas. There was a lot of crossing
Yeah,
happening because of Luke De Jong basically was there. But then again, um, there was lack of idea, lack of clarity, lack of identity. And then I'm going to talk about. I was almost if you remember uh, with Koeman, um, the pressing wasn't great. The the midfielders looked lost because there was
yeah.
almost no impact on the midfield. Whoever was playing, there was even two pivots with Busquets and Frankie De Jong, and sometimes others like Nico Gonzalez was playing a few.
Nico Gonzalez playing, yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes.
but again, coming coming back to Koeman, the template of the team was very different. The identity looked different. They looked lost. The players didn't look happy. There was no improvement on personal level like Dest or we're talking about Frankie De Jong. They're not looked as good as
Well, what Zabi did, like he cleared his idea in the like before the beginning of his first training session. Like we are going to play like this, and we actually talked about this before, like what was the reaction of some ex players in the um, Pandit's box or something like
I mean
that.
the
Yeah,
British ex players
British, yeah, British ex
or
players.
American MLS players. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, there were some, yeah, there were some sort of like reactions from them, and well, the thing is that like if you were a coach, I don't know, like whoever you were, right? We talked about Bielsa in the
Yeah,
beginning of this session. Actually, like he knew how to play, like how he wants his team to play. Xavi does that. He knows
he already has
how his,
scenarios. Yeah,
yeah. Also, like there are still some puzzles missing. If you remember his master class, like certain ways this wing backs actually moves. For example, if Dani Alves was playing in, he's kind of playing as a double pivot when they have positions, um, and
And
Traore was covering
sometime
back.
moving on the byline as well.
Yeah, exactly. So he has these clear visions, like, but he's making those adjustments because of the players, the personnel he doesn't have now. So if like he has a full transfer window, like a
Mm.
summer one, he could bring some players like
I know you talked about window. I apologize for you stopping you, but another MLS, ex-MLS player was basically saying that this transfer window basically made Barcelona better. Do you agree or disagree? The winter window
um well, partially, I will agree because of the
of the
goals,
numbers. Yeah.
numbers. Yeah, because right now Barcelona is on the third of the list of highest scoring goals in top five leagues. They've
Okay.
scored like
No, no.
20
Fair enough. Fair
this
enough. Fair enough. I
um
agree. You
this
said
year.
partially agree. So what part you don't agree?
The thing is that like Barcelona was already better in some sort of movements in the
Hmm.
midfield.
Hmm.
They
There was
they need
identity.
only
Yeah.
like yeah they already have this identity.
Hmm.
So like they need only one striker or someone like who can lead this team.
Exactly.
And we had our doubt about Ferran Torres, but at the end it did not happen with Ferran Torres. But he's a quite key figure in the build up.
For sure.
He's missing in the final third, but it can happen to any
Anytime.
striker, like
Yeah.
any top strikers.
Even Lautaro
Like
Martinez, we talking about
yeah,
him
we
not
talked
scoring for
about
a couple
Lautaro
months.
Martinez before. Yeah, exactly. So there are some sort of identities like these players now, especially when Gabi or Pedri or Frankie De Jong playing, they knew who is going to be there or who is going to run behind the defense or who is going to
Or who's going to cover
switch
them on the back?
position.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is going to switch the position. If you see the last match against Bilbao, I think after first goal, Aubameyang was trying to get to the wings, and Ferran Torres was cutting, and they
Yeah.
actually switched the
Switched
position.
a
And
lot of times.
yeah, and it almost seems like Aubameyang is saying, "Go ahead, score now." It almost feels like this because he was actually like passing the opportunity to shoot to like Ferran Torres to score or something like this. This only happens when a team has this sort of confidence in their like head, like okay, we are not scoring, but we are going to score anytime.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
No, I
yeah,
took
like there.
I agree with your statement, and um, yeah, no, nothing to add on that. Basically, I still think that buying players is good, but finding the right players and making the blueprint and exercising with them, it takes time. So what you can see is an instant impact from the players who have never really played together. Like I don't know, Aubameyang and Adama Traore and Ferran Torres actually played together. I don't think so. So they instantly gelled. I mean, probably took them one game or two games. Uh,
Yeah, we talked about this. Like we knew, like we discussed, like there is only number nine or a leading guy is missing in this
mhm,
whole system of this
mhm,
Barcelona team
mhm.
before the transfer window, and they have now like two, three guys, and
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
two, three
So
guys can play in this
So I
position.
think that the credit should go to Mr. Xavi Hernandez because he's been very, very clear. He knows what to do.
Well, actually, it also goes to the Jordi Cruyff, actually, because what Xavi was describing as his wingers or as his how can I say attackers, it's like going to be fast, really agile, or and also like who can actually take on one-on-one uh, defenders
Hmm. Hmm.
and stuff like this. And Cruyff was probably has this idea like, okay, we will look in the Premier League because they have these fast forwards
Forwards.
there.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he revealed it in the recent interview. So it also goes to him as a
No,
sporting
no, no,
director so far.
definitely. But what I meant is basically Xavi had that system mechanism at least working so that anyone like with a correct profile can come in and basically gel. So on that level, yes, definitely that four players that was brought even now looks like Luke De Jong would have done the trick. Um, but yeah, what a great few weeks for Barcelona, and let's see how they do in the final stretch of the games. Atletico Madrid, they need they need some consistency to to
Well,
go.
it's quite opposite of Barcelona.
Mhm.
What's going on with Atletico Madrid? They are missing their identities, and also their defenders are not that strong as they used to be. Like normally, you don't actually see people are scoring 2, 3 goals against Atletico Madrid, and nowadays it's like quite possible.
Yeah, it is
Like
common. It's
it's happening
unfortunate. I
every
think
other
I
weekend.
think I think they're also missing some. I think Renan Lodi scored twice last time against Celta Vigo or something,
Yeah.
and it was Kondogbia was providing that ball. But I think it's a good statement from Simeone. He didn't start Koke. I don't know if Koke is injured or not. He didn't start other midfielders, but he started Kondogbia and Hector Herrera. It seems like whoever is going to be in the form will start, not any particular name. And yeah, let's see how they react.
Actually, dropping Coca is the best decision so far he recently made because I don't know for it, is it if it is emotional or something like this because we know Diego Simeone.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. No, and
but
and also it obviously Koke would be a little bit of like, we know Diego Simeone is not married to an idea, but he might be a little bit of married to the idea of Koke and Atletico Madrid together, right? So it's emotional,
yeah.
definitely.
Also, I think Joaquim Correa should get a little bit more chance.
You mean Angel Correa?
Eh, Angel Correa, sorry, Angel Correa,
No
sorry.
worries. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
doing fantastic. I think it's the only one player who didn't let his coach down on
yeah.
that team. But otherwise, almost everyone, including Mr. Reliable Oblak, he doesn't seem to be in good form, to be honest. But yeah, hey, let's see how they do on the future games, and hopefully, they're back on the track because they're still quite big in terms of names as a team. Um,
Yeah.
so
I actually expected a little bit more, in the beginning of the season. So
yeah,
so far, at
no,
least.
definitely. It would be definitely hard for seeing them, but yeah, tomorrow is a huge game for Atletico and Betis. Obviously, Betis have done so well
Yeah.
and have been very fun to watch.
Well, like I I was going to bring this up. How do you see Real Madrid's performance against Sociedad so far?
Well, Real Madrid really turned the screw around after Sociedad, and I think there are certain teams who doesn't do well against Madrid. Sociedad is one of them. Athletic Bilbao is one of them. They don't do well. And there are certain teams do very well against Real Madrid, such as Levante, such as Getafe. They do well. Um, and for certain reasons, Sociedad never is a very good opponent of Real Madrid. Had a penalty and to go ahead, but then again, some brilliant performance from I would say Modric. Modric, whenever he scores, it's one of them, brilliant goals. He always scores one of those scorchers, right? So Kamavinga has been very, very promising. I hope he gets more chances. That's what Real Madrid needs. He's missing. He's going to be more good. I mean, he's already very good. Um, and obviously you have Benzema coming back on form as well. So it is a huge week for Real Madrid coming up against PSG.
Yeah,
PSG.
that's why I actually brought this up because if you remember our discussion after the PSG match against Real Madrid, they weren't actually looking any good in the midfield. Especially they have these big names like Camavinga or Isco in the bench, and still. But how
I
Camavinga especially played today,
well,
it's
I
like
think Camavinga had to start because I think Casemiro is suspended, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
um,
Also, in the left,
but Militao
I
has been
think
very good. Eder
yeah,
Militao has been anything but great. I mean, he's turning out to be a very good leader.
yeah, he is actually. Also, the thing with David Alaba is that like he sometimes goes for attack like
Mm.
directly through the midfield, um, which could be fatal sometimes, but it almost never happened because of because of Cruz and Militao,
Yeah,
because they closed the space.
and also Courtois. Courtois has been,
Yeah,
I think the best keeper in the
yeah,
world.
uh, yeah. And this is the funny thing actually. Except for Courtois, no, or yeah, the Real Betis keeper, no goalkeeper is not that consistent in the in La Liga, which is a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. I mean, when we think about La Liga keepers, there are some very good names.
Yeah, no, normally they used to have like good keepers, and nowadays I haven't actually seen anyone promising so far.
Hmm. You yeah, you keep me. I'm keeping in my mind who what was the last time I've seen someone really good. Not really to strike out that much.
Yeah, not even in Barcelona.
No, not in Barcelona. And normally, when you go back to Kameni days, he was always great, playing for very small teams like Mallorca. Uh, and then no, not many keeping performance that is.
No, actually. Yeah, I actually noticed it this week, and I actually made some sort of search. There are some performance, but not like that consistent or like not impressive. Like the season-defining performance from a small team goalkeeper or something like this. I haven't seen it for a while.
Not really, no. Unless you really think of because Hieronymo Rulli was not a very good goalkeeper. I mean, not very
Not
consistent.
really. Yeah,
Uh, off late, he's been more consistent, but he's not at that level, to be honest. Yeah,
I
no,
know.
I agree. I was thinking about All Black drop performance, Mark ter Stegen dropped in performance. Then you have Silesen, who's actually very good in Valencia, but sometime in a Valencia team really let him down. Then um, you talked about Betis and obviously Bravo. Um, but yeah, it is.
Even he is not like
No, he's not.
that.
He's not a young man.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, anything else with La Liga?
Not really. Not really. I don't think so.
Okay, but yeah, it's still a very boring in terms of title race. But there are a lot of games to be played for at least third and fourth place, and Betis still is fun team to watch.